Hello everybody. So today I wanted to do the question and answer video that, answer the questions that you guys sent in while I get some of these boxes packed up that I have to bring to the post office today. So the first question was, and I don't remember, I didn't write down your names of who asked what, so, just bear with me. First question, how do you discreetly perform a freezer spell? Well, I would, if you could possibly maybe do it in the winter and do it outside, you could keep something in a cooler, maybe get a cooler and put some ice in it and do your spell, keep your spell in there, like outside or in the basement, or so you're not like putting it in the freezer. So yeah. Favorite incense scent? Well, one of my favorite incenses is definitely frankincense and myrrh. Strictly for the calming properties that it has, and the ability to change my mood. I also really love mugwort for dream work, because it does have mild hallucinogenic attributes. So yeah, I thought those are my favorite. Resins, those are resins, but like regular incense. I love the Satya Baba, the super hit. It's in the black box. I think that is along with Nag Champa, those two right there are they're like quintessential scents that I just associate with a lot of memories, because my sister used to burn Nag Champa a lot when we were younger. Favorite style of dance? I like any style of dance. Like literally, the best thing for me is like when I am alone, or when I'm drunk, I do this, but when I'm alone mostly, I'll just put loud music on and I'll just let my body move. Like I don't like try to look a certain way or like act a certain way. I just let my body feels the music. And I do have some rhythm, like being a white girl, like you wouldn't really, think that, but I grew up around a lot of different ethnicities and races and cultures. So, I've been exposed to a lot. So I've been taught a lot. So I just let my body move how the music moves it. That's my favorite. Favorite spell and most used ingredients. My favorite spells are prosperity spells and protection spells, because they're important, because you never know the ill intentions other people can have for you. Because when, other people's ill intentions, it's easier to see others' bad intentions when you have protection wards up. I promise you. You are going to know the second somebody doesn't like you. You're going to know the second that you can't trust somebody, because you can feel that shit. It just sends a visceral feeling through your body. You know it. You know when someone lies to you. When you have all these protection wards up and you are protected, and you treat your own vessel as a sacred space that needs to be protected and needs to be cleansed and cared for, it returns the favor by letting you know when there's toxic people around you. And you may not like it and you may not be prepared for it, but and it's probably the people that you think are the closest to you are usually the ones have the most ill intent for you. And if that's a really hard pill to swallow. So, do you have kids? Yes, I do have kids. I have a 13-year-old son and a 12-year-old daughter, Aiden and Allison. Aiden lives with his father in Alaska, because when I was on drugs, I lost custody of both of my children. Had done some things I regret, but I can only be a better person. I can only build myself up, and I'm not completely out of his life. I do go up there every year. We talk all the time. I send birthday cards, and I know none of that replaces the time lost. But I just know that it's not going to be like this forever. And his father is a lot older than me, like a lot older than me. He's like an old man. And so like my thought process behind all of it was like, well, who am I? Like, I guess I'm his mother, but like that's his father. You know, that's like half of him. So I think that a relationship between them two, because there's things about like my son is African, half black. He's African American, half black. And so there's things about him that I can't teach him. There's things about his culture, about his family. There is just a whole other side of him that I cannot expose him to because I don't have those abilities. So, I don't strive for like, this is my child and he deserves to be with me, only me, all the time, forever and ever. Like, I just don't feel that way. I didn't feel that way as a kid. I remember my mother telling me my dad was awful and was a piece of crap. And I always thought, well, I want to know for myself. Like, that's between y'all. Like, whatever y'all had going on has nothing to do with me. And I want to figure out who he is for myself. And I did. And I figured out he was a piece of shit. And I never talked to him again. I forgave him, and I have nothing but love for him, but like I have no place for him in my life. Like, he doesn't have there's no, holiday calls to dad, nothing like that. So, but I just wanted my son to have an opportunity to know that side of his family and know a part of himself that I can't expose him to. And I never ever could expose him to, because for one, there's like no black people where I live. There's no culture. It's all fucking stupid white people that live here. I mean, not all of them, but the majority. Did you grow up in a particular religion? Yes, I grew up Christian. I went to church, a Baptist church, my entire life. Now, it's not Southern Baptist. I grew up in like a Northern Baptist. Still, people were very judgmental. I did it. It was mainly, I went along with it for a long time, till I was about 12, till I started to think for myself. I went along with it because everybody else was doing it. It's like, you don't want to be the odd one out when you're a little kid and everyone else believes in God and you don't. And you feel weird. And then you have the church like threatening you with fire and brimstone if you don't believe. And it's like, well, then you feel this like moral toll, like, well, what, like, you don't really believe what they're telling you, but then it's like, well, I feel guilty because I don't believe it, so I should believe it. And so I didn't feel, once I got to a thinking age where I could, critically think for myself, I started to see the holes in that story. I started to see the fear tactics that were being used by preachers around me and the things I experienced growing up. Granted, if it wasn't for a lot of those churches that I did go to, mainly the Salvation Army, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have eaten a lot of the times. I wouldn't have had a safe place to go after school, or like when my mom and everybody was on drugs and fighting, like I wouldn't have a safe like haven. So I thank them for that. And I think the teachings are there and the intention are there, but I think everybody gets lost in the teaching you how to think instead of teaching you what to think instead of teaching you how to think. I think that's where, the moral distress came for me. Is like, well, this doesn't really make sense to me. Like, I know everyone else, seems to make sense to everybody else, but like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, how can this make any sense? Like, because I was starving. Like, grew up poor, I grew up hungry. And so like, when you're in that poor, hungry mindset, you're like, well, where's God? Like, I'm praying. Like, why am I still hungry? Why am I still getting abused? Why is my mom still on drugs? Like, I couldn't comprehend, because like people kept telling me, oh, if you believe, your life will be great. Well, it's like, well, my life sucks. And no matter how much I fucking pray, no matter how much I get on my knees, I'm still the odd man out. I'm still losing every single day. So, did your parents accept your witchy way? Actually, my dad, he calls me a devil, and he says that I'm possessed by an evil spirit, and he always tries to give me Bible verses, and he's like one of those fake Christian people where he he had nothing else to cling to, so he clung to Christianity because he was in jail, because he was a criminal. You know, it's like, well, you're calling it's like the kettle calling the pot black. It doesn't make really much sense what you're saying. My mom, and she is, she doesn't really believe in anything. She was actually the one to give me my first deck of tarot cards. She's into the crystals, but she's not so into it to where she like is practicing. But she collects things and she gives them to me. And my sisters collect tarot cards. Well, my older sister does. She like buys wands for me and like little things like that. My little sister thinks that I'm insane. Most of the people that are around me think I'm insane, but that's cool because I know I'm not. I'm just really in tune with the energies. I'm really in tune with myself emotionally. So that helps me be in tune emotionally with other people, especially if I'm emotionally connected to you. Like if I love you or I care about you, like I basically can read your mind, and not word for word, but like I know what you're feeling, and you can't really hide things from me. I don't hide my feelings from people well. Like if I'm in a certain mood, everybody around me knows how I feel. Like there's no question to be asked about how Jennifer feels because it's all over my face. It's all, if I'm in a bad mood, it's my energy. You can feel it. Like I have a very strong energy. And when other people are around me, I'm the type of person where I shift the energy when I walk into a room. And I don't adapt to shitty energies. I shift it. I don't like to adapt to shitty energies. I don't like to be shitty to people because they're shitty to me. I would rather like wish them well and just be on my way. That's just how I'd rather do things because, I used to succumb to negative energies, and I used to succumb to other people's, when they'd push and pull me and try to get a reaction out of me, which, is another lesson I'm in the midst of learning, to still learn how to control that aspect. I wonder where my tape went. Things I did as a kid that were witchy. Well, I spent 90% of my time outside. I was always outside. I had this fearlessness about me because I trusted something. I don't know what I trusted. I just trusted that I'd be okay. I took risks and I took chances because I just knew that no matter what happened, I'd be fine with it. Like it didn't matter. Like thankful, thanks to my growing up really shitty and growing up and around a lot of dangerous people and dangerous situations, I know how to, like when my adrenaline kicks in and there's a dangerous situation, I'm the first one to come up with the plan. I'm the first one to take action because I don't I don't question my intuition. I used to a lot. And so a lot of people thought I was insane, but really it was just like, I have to trust something or given to nothing. That's how I felt. Okay. And then the last question, first thing that made you aware of a witchy path. The call I felt to nature, the pull that I felt, I always felt, even as a little kid, I can remember being really, really small and being in the woods and just feeling the aliveness of everything. I felt the connectedness. And then when I did magic mushrooms for the first time, I seen it. I was able to see it because that's what psychedelics do. They drop your human ability, your human walls that we put up to deal with everyday life. It drops that so you can then experience the connectedness of everything, and it's just quite magical. So after that happened, that shroom experience when I was 18, then I really really dug deep into it. Like I was always interested in it, and I was always, but I was more scared of it because I didn't understand it. But then I started reading up about it, and that's, if you're starting out as a witch, just read everything that you can read. Like just devour every inch of everything that you can read. Don't really cling to nothing. Don't read things looking for your belief system. Read things with an open mind. Set your beliefs aside and read stuff. and then use all of that information to form an identity for yourself. Use all of that information to form your belief system, how you see it, how you see fit, and how you see the world, and how you want to live in it, how you want to experience things. I want to live my life. I've always wanted to live my life like a movie. I've always felt like I was in a movie, and I want to live my life like I'm a main character of a movie, and things can just magically happen. And I think that when you believe that, they do, because for me, everything has always worked out. And to other people, they're like, well, you don't do things like other people. You're not like other people. How does everything just seem to work out for you? It's like, well, because I trust and believe that no matter what, no matter where, no matter what happens to me, they can lock me up in jail. You know what I'm going to do in jail? I'm going to broaden everybody's mind. I'm going to enlighten everybody. I'm going to spill my secrets. I'm going to take time to go within. I'm going to dream. I'm going to be doing dream work. Like, you can imprison my body, but you cannot imprison my mind. And that is one of the greatest assets as a witch and as a spiritual practitioner. When you learn that, when you learn that you are actually boundless and you cannot be held, like no matter how you try, no matter how much you want or how hard you try, you cannot actually get to the source. And so let that be a freedom. Let it be a freedom to take risks and do things that you normally wouldn't do. Dress the way you always wanted to dress. Be however you want. Say when you're upset. Say when you're happy. Dream the impossible. Like, why not? Why the fuck not? You know? That's why I always tell Mark, who is like my number one doubter, it's like, you can doubt all you want, but you don't see things from my perspective. And that's okay. Like, you know, people are going to call me crazy all day long. Let them call me crazy. But you know what? I'm here in my own home, and I am happy, and I am healthy, and I am fit. I can run. I can walk up and down mountains. I can climb through the forest. I can learn something new every single day and apply it to my life. And, you know, so I hope you guys enjoyed getting to know a little bit deeper about me. And if you have any more questions, leave them down below. And I did pick the winner for the giveaway. It was, I already contacted her on Instagram. So yeah, I will be doing another giveaway. Probably, you know, I'll do a giveaway with some of my art here pretty soon, because I do have a lot and I want to make space for other things. So I love you guys, and I hope you're all doing beautifully today, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.